during our predictions that the Lions would finish really close, 8-9, 9-8, somewhere around there, right? They're going to be super competitive. They're going to play really hard for Dan Campbell, probably score some points, right? You could see the offensive piece they had going into the season. Swift at that point, Hawkinson was still there, but even without him, they have really nice tight end pieces, good wideouts, all that. And I like Jared Goff better than most. Not love. I like him. I'm still realistic, right? He can't really play on the road, can't really play outside very well. But let's be real, he's a top 20 NFL quarterback. I think he's probably way closer to 20, if not right at 20. But that's 100% where they are right now. Competitive, fun. Jared Goff is exactly what we think he is, somewhere in the top 15 to 20 NFL quarterbacks. Here's the interesting thing about that team, though, right? Like I said, the concern offensively has been Jared Goff, right? You're going into the season, you're not worried about Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're not worried about your backfield. You have two good backs, your offensive line's improving. I like Goff. I do. But their line's above average, their weapons are really good, B+, A-, two good backs, nice tight end, even after they traded Hawkinson, right? The concern's always been Goff. He's actually he's sixth best in football right now with only 7 picks. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So he's taking care of the ball. He's moving the sticks. They're third in yards per drive, which means they're also 6th in scoring percentage, a.k.a. the percentage of their drives that convert to them scoring. 6th. That's a good clip, right? So they're moving the ball, and they're getting in the end zone. But the problem is that they also happen to be the single worst defense in football. I think the single worst defense in football. They're 17th in picks. They're dead last in yards per drive. They're 3rd worst in score percentage. They're also worst in your average points per drive. So what does that mean? Not only are they giving up points, they're giving up touchdowns. Like a lot. On average more than anyone else, actually. They're 32nd in the league. Right, so there's that mentality you always hear, bend, don't break, right? Whenever they get to you about your 40-yard line, that you got to bend, hold them to a field goal, live to fight another day. I think the Steelers historically have been pretty decent at this. I mean, they lose, 16 to 14 or whatever, the field goals. No, there's no bend. There's no bend with Detroit. It's just break. And so I think the Lions, they're super entertaining. I don't think they would be any fun to play if you're the Vikings, right? Like, I think the Vikings most likely keep that 2 seed, and I don't think the Lions are going to get above the 7 seed. Like, I don't. But so that would probably be the matchup. I don't think they would be any fun for Minnesota, who also has some serious problems in their secondary. But I'm also realistic with Detroit, right? And I hope their fans can, respect this, because I'm actually rooting for them, finally. They've been so awful for so long that, they deserve this, right? I don't have any problem with Lions fans. I think they finally deserve a little bit of entertainment, which they're finally getting because the offense is exhilarating, and to be actually competitive. And I think that they're getting that as well. They're probably going to sneak into the playoffs. But let's take a deep breath with them. All right, let's not set our hopes too high. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I like Jared Goff. Let's remember this before I say this. I like Jared Goff. But at home, he's 270 yards per game, 20 touchdowns, 3 picks, 106 QBR. That's like an all-pro. That'd be second in the league right now in QBR to Jalen Hurts, who's probably going to be the MVP. That's an all-pro stat line. On the road, he's 227 yards per game, 4 picks, only 2 touchdowns, and an 81 pass rating. Right, so I like Detroit, but I'm also realistic with them. Can they maybe go to Minnesota in the playoffs and win? Maybe. I don't feel great about it. Remember when they went to Minnesota last time and they got this really nice lead? And then in complete Detroit fashion, lost it. And lost by 4 to, at the time, a pretty beat-up team in Minnesota. So I am rooting for Detroit. I think they're super entertaining. I think Jared Goff is a much better quarterback than a lot of people give him credit for. But you have to be realistic with this. It comes in steps, right? We said this with Philly, how it comes in steps, right? Get to the playoffs last year, get waxed by Tom. This is probably the year that they win a playoff game, if not 2. I know people are giving, I want to say Donovan McNabb, flack for saying that they're probably another year away from the Super Bowl, and I agree. It's very, very rare that you see a team not hit these milestones on their way up, right? And the teams that kind of bypass these milestones, like I'll even give Cincinnati credit. They were awful, and then Burrow came in. They were really, really good with Burrow. Then he gets hurt. But you kind of still see the identity of the team, even though he's hurt. Like, they're still scrappy, and they're learning from their losses, right? And then he comes in and boom, Super Bowl, right? Still a big jump, but you don't see like Josh Allen in Buffalo, for example, right? Awful, getting better, finally competitive, but still can't win a playoff game. Finally goes out, wins a playoff game, right? And now what are they? I don't know, probably like third in voting right now, or in odds to win the Super Bowl. So it comes in steps. Detroit, you'll probably sneak in. My guess, it'd be a coin flip game in Minnesota. I'd probably lean with Minnesota, but I don't feel good about it. I mean, given that Kirk can't play in primetime, depending on when that game is, it could go either way. But they wouldn't get past that, right? That'd be kind of the ceiling, right? Because then from there, you're the 7th seed that moved on, so then you would get, I want to say you get the 1, so you get Philly, and they're not in a position to go beat Philly on the road, right? So, love Detroit, love what they're doing. I think Dan Campbell's underrated. I think Jared Goff's underrated. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. But, deep breath, competitive, fun, love what they're doing. Not necessarily a team that I'm taking seriously going deep into the playoffs and making any massive noise. Could they sneak in and give Minnesota all they can handle? Absolutely. Is that about the cap on their season? Absolutely. And that's fine. That's fine for a Detroit team. They started off 1-6. If you told them that when they were 1-6, you said, hey, you're going to get to the playoffs, you're going to give Minnesota all you can handle, and then you're going to get waxed in Philadelphia next week. Would they sign up for it? I think they would. Yeah. I think they'd sign up for it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a brand of football that Detroit should just be thrilled about getting to this level right now.
Absolutely.
Don't ask for the whole pie. Take it one slice at a time, right? And especially after being so bad for so long. Like, it's not going to go from that to a Super Bowl. There's going to be years of building. There's going to be... I think Dan Campbell's a great coach. And what he's been able to do all season, I think, puts him in contention for at least top 5 coaches this season. To lead a Detroit Lions team to a playoff, if they can sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Then win a playoff game, that would be crazy for them.
I wouldn't. Yeah, he'd be in contention for Coach of the Year, probably.
I would say.
I mean, that's what Stefanski did with Cleveland.
Yeah.
Ended up winning, 10 or 11 games and went and beat Pittsburgh in the first round?
Yeah.
Coach of the Year. I mean, I don't think it's crazy.
Either way, they're moving in the right direction in Detroit.
They are moving in the right direction. I'll